What's up, bro? Thanks. All right. We're going to go ahead and get this training started. I didn't announce I was going to do a training or anything like that, so a lot of people can watch the replay. What's up, Omar, Jeffrey, and Anthony? How you guys doing? Hope all is well. By the way, I always give a shout out. Shout out to BK. Always got my verve ready. And shout out to Jervita. I always like to try to support these network marketing companies, man, and they got great products. By far, network marketing companies have the best products and way better products than you could buy, say, in the store or something like that. Anyways, we're going to go and get started. So I want to talk. I was just talking to one of my sales agents for my credit repair company yesterday, and I says, here's the thing, man. He's a very aggressive, he's a red color individual, right? And I was talking to him about a couple things, and I said, the thing about you is that you being so driven, that's the reason why you do good. But if you were a chameleon, you'd do better, right? Hello, Vivian. I said, if you were a chameleon, you'd do better because and I'm red. And sometimes I tend to be too red, right? But I also know how to be a chameleon when it's time to be a chameleon, right? So I want to kind of briefly talk. This is a training that really takes me, when I do a seminar, it takes me like 2 hours to go through this complete training. So right now I just kind of want to go through some highlights. As a matter of fact, as we speak, a buddy of mine and I are talking about doing an event, like a personal growth event for entrepreneurs in the coming months. So we're gonna put something very, very valuable together. I mean, I go to a lot of seminars that people put, and I gotta be honest, man. Not impressed at all. I am biased, but not for nothing, man. But the network marketing trainings are the best. You go to a Super Saturday network marketing training, man, and it's head and shoulders above events that cost $1,000. Like I love Grant Cardone, but his trainings aren't that good, man. They're decent, man. You know what I mean? And really, when he does that 10X conference, it's to sell you a bunch of stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. And his stuff is still good. But when you've seen the stuff that we have seen and you've been in that kind of training, man, I mean, there's no comparison. So anyways, we're going to put on a training, and it's going to be a generic training for entrepreneurs that's going to be done every year. Okay, possibly every 6 months. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and get into the training, right? So as a chameleon, you make more money. Why? Because there's different personalities, right? And it depends on your personality will depend. By the way, my battery's a little bit low, so I'm going to turn off a couple of apps on my phone. Okay, that should be good. So this training shouldn't take no more than 10, 15 minutes. So anyways, here's the situation. Different things motivate different people, right? And if we're in the people business, if you're in sales, you're in the people business, right? The first thing that we sell is ourselves. And so people need to buy you before they buy what you're selling, right? And you have to find out what the motivations are, you know what I mean, for these individuals. By the way, what's up, Jeffrey? So you need to find out what these motivations are for people. And certain personalities combine better and do better business than other personalities. But if you learn this stuff, you could be a chameleon and you could attract people that you normally wouldn't attract. You could do business with people that you normally wouldn't do business with, right? So you want to be a chameleon. So I'll give you an example. The first type of person is a person that I am, right? Mario, what's up, brother? By the way, share the feed, guys. If you guys like this information, share the feed. Tag people on this, right? Show me some love. I'm going to show you some love by giving you some value. I pay attention to people that like it, comment it, share the feed, tag people. I notice all of that stuff, so I appreciate that. By the way, that's a trait of a red. A red goes out there and asks for what he wants, right? And I was told a long time ago by a mentor of mine, he says, listen, you don't have to wait in line. Those things that you want, you don't have to wait in line. You can go out there and decide. Most people are going to wait in line. I just put a quote up today, right? The quote is, when we were kids, we used to play follow the leader. Then most people when they were kids, they used to play follow the leader. And most people when they grow up, most adults play follow the follower, right? They follow what everybody else is doing, right? And if you want to be, Jeffrey, I appreciate you sharing the feed, brother. Appreciate that, man. And if you want to achieve big things, you got, if you want to fail, look at what everybody else is doing and do like them. If you work at a real estate office, look at what 80% to 90% of the agents are doing at that office. Do what they do and you will fail. You want to copy what the 10 to 20% are doing. If you work in selling alarms, if you work in selling insurance, see what the masses in that office are doing. Do what they do and you will fail. Do what the elite are doing and you will succeed, right? It's actually not very complicated. So anyways, here we go, right? What's up, Silver? So the red personality, right? The red personality is an aggressive personality. Now, I've got some notes here, by the way, right? A red personality is somebody that is driven. They're aggressive. They're money motivated. They're confident, right? They're a little egocentric. By the way, thank you, Mario, for sharing the feed, right? They want to win. They're interested in competition. They have thick skin and they are risk takers. So like my buddy, for example, is a risk taker. He's a red. When he shakes your hand, it's a firm handshake. You can tell, by the way, a lot by the way somebody shakes your hand. And then that could help you when you learn this stuff. That could help you on how to deal with these people, right? So that is aggressive, right? They fire, then they aim. They're kind of like, let's go out there and take action. You know what I mean? We'll figure it out, right? They're not the personality, which I'm going to talk to in a little bit, of, hey, let me get my brochures, let me get my pamphlets ready, let me make, let me learn everything before I do anything. Matter of fact, that personality is a green personality. That personality drives the reds crazy because those guys are like aim, 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 aim. And anybody, by the way, could become a millionaire. Any personality could become a millionaire. But the red personalities tend to become millionaires faster and more often, right? Based on what I've seen and based on my personal experience, right? Now, a little bit about the red. Here are some downfalls about the red, right? They're impatient, right? They want immediate results, and they're impatient, and that's not good. Diego, by the way, I know you're a red, brother. Okay? They're a little insensitive. Sometimes us reds, we could be a little bit insensitive towards others, towards other people's feelings, towards other people's time, towards other people's. It's kind of like reds will tend to like be late, right? And oftentimes they'll brush it on the rug. But you being late to an appointment with a red, they take personal. They don't like it, right? It's kind of like not a fair game there, right? So they're insensitive. They're a little bit selfish. You know what I mean? I'm a red. They're not very thoughtful, okay? They want to win at all costs. And that's good and it's bad. There's got to be a balance, right? They're self-centered. We talked about that. Not too good at giving, okay? And they tend to look for conflict. And you know what? For those of you guys that follow me for years, you know that's kind of how I am, right? After the Triple G fight and Canelo, I was like, man, people that thought Triple G won don't know anything about boxing. Listen, man, part of it is I'm having a good time. That is how I really feel, but it doesn't matter. If you think Triple G won, you're still my friend. I don't care, you know what I mean? It's just not my opinion. We just don't share the same opinion, right? Anyways, moving on. Yellow. Now we're going to talk about the yellow. The yellow person is somebody that loves people. Oftentimes, like hippies are yellow, right? Often, yellow people are the people that care about others, right? Their tone is more of a warm tone, right? They're slower talkers. They're relationship driven. They like to avoid conflict, right? So while the red likes to look for conflict and tries to solve the thing right now and are very aggressive, the yellow are pretty opposite to them. They like to build great relationships and they're very giving, right? Okay. Now, their handshake. A red's handshake is very firm, direct, and to the point. They'll go deep on that handshake, right? A yellow's person's handshake is a little bit softer, not as firm, okay? They tend to get closer to other people. By the way, here's an attribute about a red. Red people don't like people getting too close to them. Like, don't invade their space too much. Yellow people tend to be cool with you getting close to them. So here's the deal. If I know that I'm dealing with a red, okay, I know that the red wants to get to the point, not a lot of small talk, doesn't want me around his circle. When I go, whether it's conscious or unconscious, whether the person knows it or not, let's say I'm dealing with a red. When I go and I shake their hand firm and my tone of voice is firm, okay, even to a point where it's a little bit aggressive. Why? Because if I want to do business with this red, that red needs to know, why should I follow you? Why should I do business with you? Why are you worthy to do business with me? So it's kind of like you are front and center and you let them know that you mean business, right? That you're the type of guy that doesn't end up in the friend zone, you end up in the end zone. Does that make sense? I'm the type of man that I don't end up in the friend zone, I end up in the end zone when it comes to business, when it comes to anything, right? The red needs to know that. For them to say, you know what? I could do business with you. Let's do something. On the contrary, if your handshake is not very firm, here's the deal. If you're a yellow, and you're dealing with a red and you want to do business with the red, guess what? If you know what attracts a red, then you can get them to do business with you, because oftentimes, as we mentioned, the red has more ego. There's more ego involved when it comes to the red, right? So if the ego's involved, they tend to kind of look down on other people, right? Now, on the contrary, if it's a yellow person, I tend to be a little bit softer, right? Be a little bit nicer, maybe hug them, right? Maybe give them a handshake and give them a bit of a hug, right? Why? Because I know what motivates these people, right? They may hug you the first time that they meet you. They don't care that much about designer stuff, right? Greens and yellows don't care that much about designer stuff, okay? Reds tend to care about designer stuff. Like, look at my Louis Vuitton belt. Look at my Ferragamo belt and shoes and whatnot. Yellows tend to not care that much about that stuff. They care more about comfortable stuff that fit good, that look good. And the looks part isn't that much of an importance to them as much as it is to a red. I'll give you an example. You see a guy show up in a red sports car, right? And he's suited and booted. He's got his Ferragamo glasses and his Ferragamo belt. That's a red, man. You know what I'm saying? They're the kind of person that like to order a drink, right? And they'll order like the high quality, right, alcohol. The other guy order whatever, right? Something basic, right? And so those little details make a big difference, right? So anyways, we're going to move on because we don't have a lot of time, right? Okay. A little bit of the downfalls for yellows, okay? They're very sensitive. They have thin skin. They dwell on small things, okay? They tend to buy people's reasons, okay? Or they tend to buy people's reasons or excuses. Reds, I'll give you an example. I just was talking to my buddy Thomas right now, and I'm trying to meet with him so we can talk some business. He says, I'm moving next week, man. You know, let me get settled in. I said, next Thursday is a week away, man. It's already Friday. You're talking about a week away. We got to meet before you move. He's like, no, man, it's because I got a lot of stuff. I got to remodel the apartment before I move in. I said, let me ask you this. Every single day leading up to Thursday, you got to eat, don't you? He says, yes. How about this? Why don't when you eat with me? I feed you, I pay for your lunch, and then we talk business, and I don't take any additional time because you're going to spend that time to have lunch. Is that fair? He's a red, by the way. He says, that's fair, JC. Let's meet up on Monday or Tuesday. Let me look at my planner. Bingo. Sounds good. He lives in Dana Point. I said, we'll meet at Huntington Beach. We'll meet somewhere halfway. Let's go out there and make it happen. Because game recognizes game. The red recognizes. Now, if that was a yellow, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't be so aggressive with a yellow. But the fact that he's a red, I know I can push the envelope. As long as you say it with confidence and not arrogance, they tend to say, you know what? I can mess with you. That makes sense. I do have to eat. You're going to buy me lunch. Let's sit down. Let's do some business. Let's sit down and possibly do some business together, right? So yellows, they tend to buy people's excuses. If I was a yellow in that situation, I would have probably taken the meeting after next Thursday when he moves in. That's unacceptable to me because after he moves in, he's still settling in. It's going to probably be another week. So we're looking at like 2 weeks before we meet. My red in me doesn't let me buy his excuses. I do not. Here's a little side note on a red. A red recognizes the difference between reasons and excuses, right? Somebody a long time ago, I use this example all the time. They say, well, I have 2 kids and no job and, you know, I can't join a business. You know, I'm recruiting to my network marketing business. I said, that sounds to me like a great reason to do a business versus an excuse not to do it. Long story short, that person joined the team. Anyways, the blues. Blues love to have fun. They're fun and outgoing. They like things to be excited. They don't like overbearing people. They arrive late to meetings very often. They're like ready, fire, aim, right? Kind of like Reds in that example. Okay, they're relationship driven. They're spontaneous. The way that you recruit blues into your business is to show them how much fun you guys have. Like you guys get stuff done, but you guys do it while having fun. That's how you get blues into your business, okay? They get bored easily, right? Their attention span is not very long. Same thing with a red. Red's attention spans are not very long. They get distracted easily. As we mentioned, they show up late. Okay, they're not the most confident, but they are very optimistic. Okay, they tend to be late. And now greens. Greens are very analytical. These are the detail-orientated people, right? They're very analytical. They're like, they're neat freaks. I got to know everything before I do anything. Kind of like that paralysis by analysis example, right? They hate hype and emotion. They want logic and they want things to make sense, right? Like a red will get excited by the potential. Look at how good this guy's doing. Look at this project and look at this and we're winning. The green is kind of turned off by that. The green's kind of like, show me the percentages. Show me the month to month. Show me the closing for the month. Show me, not only that, show me how you're doing it, how you're going to help me get that done with the numbers. I want to see the business setup. And then what kind of tools am I going to get? Are you going to give me my business cards? Or do you have brochures? Do you have videos? Do you help me with marketing? They want to know all of that stuff. Okay? They tend to get reds very, very, they're the ones, greens and reds, just like the colors, right? Green and red don't really mix. Same thing with these people, right? So they're very analytical. They want a precise game plan, okay? Their look, nothing really jumps out. You know what I mean? Very bland, right? They're not trendy at all. They don't like designer things at all, right? They're not into, they're not concerned with appearance, right? So it's just kind of like blend in. It's kind of like, you don't notice them too often. Now let's talk about to a meeting. They show up on time. Greens will show up on time. And if you don't show up on time to a meeting with a green, it's hard to get their business, man. They notice those little details and they value you showing up and respecting their time. Yellows and greens are always on time. Blues and reds tend to not be on time. They tend to run by the clock. They're very organized. They ask a lot of questions. So you want to be prepared to get their questions answered, right? If you could maybe, like, I'll give you an example. Let's say one time I was dealing with a green and I sent him before we met a lot of commonly asked questions, so a lot of his answers get answered. That way he doesn't annoy me when we meet, and he feels like, that's something a green would do, and they like that, right? Okay. They give you a fair handshake, right? They like to keep a distance from you, okay? They won't use much slang. Their tone of voice is softer and light. They like to talk about facts. We talked about that. Details, organization. And I'm talking fast because my phone doesn't have a lot of battery. Okay? They're also not fast starters. Yellows and greens are not fast starters. You know what I mean? They're more of slow starters. But here's the deal. Yellows, for example, are not fast starters. But they'll nurture relationships more. So reds are faster starters. But they tend to break relationships because they're a little overbearing at times, right? They're a little bit aggressive and insensitive. So even though, for example, in the network marketing business, they tend to grow the business fast, they also tend to lose people because they turn them off. They're too aggressive. So the point is this: if we could find a nice midsection to where you find out how to identify who people are, and you could identify them by the way they talk, by the things that they value, the things they talk about, by the way they shake your hand, by the way they dress, by the way they communicate. And you could learn to deal with these people, right? You could build a big sales organization. And I'm not just talking about network marketing. I'm talking about real estate. I'm talking about anything. I've seen sales organizations in every aspect, even real estate companies, right? They're always recruiting. I got a friend who's down the street. He's always, guess what? He was a network marketer in my organization when he got out of high school at 18 years old, right, Jose? And they're doing a killer job. Congratulations to Lotus Group, right? And they're doing just a phenomenal job. What are they doing? They're recruiting. Now, if you add this and you teach your agents, it's not only will the agents close more sales, but guess what? You'll also attract more people. If you learn how to be chameleons in the work environment, not only will you attract more people, but you will keep more people. So when it comes to building a big team, learning how to be a chameleon, not only will you make more personal sales yourself, but you will also attract more people into your business. More people will want to do business with you because people buy from people they like. They buy from people they like. Remember this. People like people who are like them or like they would like to be. People like people who are like them or like they would like to be. So if you are like the person, so if I got a green and I can make myself be a chameleon to a green, guess what? I'm like them, right? And if they perceive me to be successful, they're like, he's like me and like I would like to be. Then I tend to get the business more. If I know that the dude is a red, I'm not going to talk about all the facts. I'm going to get down to the point. Not a lot of small talk. We're going to get right down to the point. The blues, we're going to get to the point, and we're going to have fun, and it's going to be a lively environment. We're going to probably crack a couple of jokes, and I'm going to talk about some of the fun things that we do, right? I'm going to relate to the things that person does that are fun to him. I know the conversations I have with him, the questions I ask with him are much different than the ones to ask the yellows and the greens, right? Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this information. If you guys enjoyed it, I suggest if you didn't watch the whole thing, watch the whole thing. I think that we gave you guys some value here. Once again, I condensed it. This is a 2-hour training. I even give out a test to people so they can find out exactly what percentage they are of every single one. I'm going to be doing a training. It's going to be in a couple of months, right? Right now I got some other projects that we're working on, but this is going to be one of the topics that we're going to go in depth, and it's one of the it's one of the keys, I believe, to building a big sales organization and to making a lot more sales is you have to be a chameleon. A chameleon makes a lot more money than somebody who is not a chameleon. You don't want to do business in black and white. You want to do business in full color. Anyways, with that said, I love you guys. See you guys at the top and from the top. Take care.